What's up, guys? I lost 50 pounds and I'm going to show you how I did it so you can lose 50 pounds too. This video is going to be very condensed and very to the point, and it's going to be all about how you can fix your diet. So let's get started. The first thing to realize is that when it comes to fixing your diet, it's a marathon, not a sprint. If you want to be successful with your fat loss, you got to make sure that you take it in stages. You don't try and do too much at once. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on being consistent. So the first stage is the easiest and simplest stage. So in the beginning, obviously your motivation might be at its peak because obviously it's the beginning and you're really ready to go. However, you have yet to build strong habits. So the first stage is all about building your habits. By easiest, it's not going to take a massive amount of time. It's not going to take a massive amount of effort. And it's something that you should be able to accomplish consistently day in and day out. So the first thing you want to do is to pick one thing in your diet that you should not be eating if you want to lose fat, and to get rid of that one thing. Now, the reason why I said one thing and not everything is because if it's just one thing, you're still going to have a lot of things in your diet that you enjoy. However, it shows restraint and obviously you're building resilience. When I was trying to lose weight, me personally, I was eating a lot of cheese. Obviously, cheese is good for you. It's good for developing strong bones. I also chose to remove honey. So technically I removed two things just because I typically ate those two things together. Now, it was really high quality honey that you get from the bee farm. It was your raw local honey, stuff that's packed with vitamins, enzymes, micronutrients. However, when you have fats and sugar together, that's how you keep weight on. Obviously, I was trying to lose fat, so that's why I chose to remove that from my diet. Obviously, there's still plenty of other things in my diet that I enjoyed, but I just chose one thing to remove, and I removed that. And a lot of times you'll find just from removing one thing, chances are you actually will drop body fat in the first 2 weeks. Me personally, I ended up dropping 3 kilos, so about 7 or 8 pounds, just from removing that one thing out of my diet and also being more aware of what I was eating. I was actually writing it down on a whiteboard, and as I said, 3 kilos. So literally removing just one thing out of your diet that you shouldn't be eating is a quick and easy way to where you should be able to lose fat. However, there's one other thing that you need to do in addition to removing that one thing out of your diet, and that is to start tracking your food. If you want to be successful on your weight loss journey, you need to make sure that you know exactly what you're putting into your body. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you keep track of things. Obviously, step 1 is to remove one thing out of your diet, and step 2 is to track everything that you eat. So for instance, if I had 3 eggs for breakfast, I would write down 7:56 a.m., 3 eggs. And I would do the same thing for obviously lunch, dinner, any snacks that I had. I would just write it down. And obviously it's really easy to write it down. All you need to do is just pull out your smartphone, open up a note application, and literally just type out what you eat. What that is gonna do and why it's so powerful is because every single time you eat, you're actively reminding yourself that you're on a fat loss journey. So it's a constant reminder, and it's keeping your mind focused on your goal throughout the day. Obviously, if you have 3 meals and you have 2 snacks a day, that's 5 times a day that you're eating. So that's 5 times a day that you're actively reminding yourself you're trying to lose fat and you're on a weight loss journey. However, it's positive reinforcement, right? A lot of times when people switch diets and they switch everything at once, what will happen is every time they eat, they feel upset. They're like, oh man, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, and they get overwhelmed. If you decide to only take out one thing and you keep track of what you're eating, what it's gonna do, one, especially for the first 2 weeks, you will be able to look through it and you'll have a clear view of your eating habits, and you'll know what you're eating and when you're eating. And also, because you've removed something out of your diet, you've already taken steps in the right direction and you've been consistent in the right direction. So that's what you really want for your first 2 weeks. You want to start developing new habits, and you want to become more aware and more conscious of what you're putting into your body. If you do those 2 things for the first 2 weeks, chances are you will lose body fat. Yes, it's that simple. And keep in mind, I haven't even spoken about exercise yet. I haven't really spoken about making any major changes to your life, right? Taking out one thing is not a huge deal. And spending 5 seconds on your phone when you're probably going to be on your phone anyway, obviously isn't taking any time out of your day. So you've developed habits, you've obviously removed a bad habit, and you're becoming more consistent. So as you can see, you're taking steps in the right direction, and these steps take almost no time, and it's a positive reinforcement, right? It's encouraging you to make better decisions without putting any pressure on yourself. And that is why those are the first 2 steps, and those 2 steps are very powerful. And if you implement those 2 steps, chances are you will lose body fat within 2 weeks. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, so moving on to stage 3, right? So as I said, stage 1 and stage 2 are extremely important for the first 2 weeks. Another thing you could actually throw into that as well